Now, the market capitalization of the Nigerian Exchange Limited fixed income rose to 21.4 trillion naira at the close of transactions in the first quarter of this year. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has warned deposit money banks against circulating mutilated currency notes. Emmanuel Odiaka, the CEO of Ecob Capital, joins me now to discuss more on this. Now, Emmanuel, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us. Talk to us about the market performance in this first quarter. What is your assessment?
Yes, we opened market with the sentiment that yields at some point in quarter one was going to advance across the curve. However, that hasn't happened. Market, of course, was anticipating payment of one of the bond maturities, which matured somewhere in mid-January 2022, and that was over 600 billion naira, including over about 218 billion in coupon payment flows that came into that market. So market had a positive flow on coupon payments on the fixed income assets of over 1 trillion in January alone. So if you add that to the coupon payments that occurred in February and March, that was coupon payments of over 600 billion plus the 610 billion in maturities. That was over 1.5 trillion that came into coupon payment. So this was a huge amount of bond assets coupon payment flows that would already add to demand across the curve. And yes, we saw a little bit of demands in quarter one. However, going into quarter two, the settlements, especially with the rise in inflation, the war in Ukraine, and the last MPC communique from the Apex Bank gave notion that we could see a reversal of that trend anytime from now.
Indeed, you've actually alluded to something that I wanted to ask next. What are your expectations even as quarter two begins?
Yes, quarter two is looking bright enough. We are seeing sentiments weighing negatively right now across the curve. On the Treasury bill side, yields have been declining year on year on the NTB results. But in the last print out of the 364 days, we saw yields move from about 4% to 4.45% on the one-year paper. The Q2 calendar was just published, I think, day before yesterday by the Debt Management Office, and that also indicated that the Debt Management Office was in the market to borrow more funds to fund the budget deficit. So market is looking at this with very keen interest, including the rising inflation. So we think the next 2 months, yes, there's a lot of coupon payments in April, about 300 and something billion naira. Yes, we will have to see some cherry picking at some point. But after April, we expect to see some correction going into May, June in the market. So we expect to see yields advancing at some point going into quarter two.
Now, Emmanuel, election campaigns are in full swing in Nigeria. What are the investor sentiments?
Well, elections always come and go in Nigeria very peacefully. Our market has matured beyond being frightened with electioneering and politicking issues, except there are unforeseen changes. We are expecting to have a very smooth election. Yes, the sentiments will always be negative. People will always want to wait and see the outcome of this electioneering process. But we do not see major premium being asked because of the election buildup. At some time, yes, market is going to pause, especially and fuel the beats of the election. But so far, it looks like both major political parties are going and doing the electioneering process in the right way. There's calmness. Nigerians are very anxious to see what comes out from the major political party primaries and their candidates. I think this will set the motion for the socio-political impact that this election could have going into the future.